Well, I'm 88 years old.
What year were you born and what date?
July the 15th, 1913.
Where were you born?
I was born in that big house across the road there down the field.
What were your family members?
My family members? I had 3 brothers and 2 sisters.
What? Tell us a little about your ancestry and heritage.
I didn't hear what you said.
Please tell us a little bit about your ancestry and heritage.
Oh, my ancestors, they were old people. My grandmother on my mother's side, she come from Quebec. My grandpeople on my father's side, they come from Ireland, over in Ireland, Ballymena, Ireland. And I was there when it was in the wartime. I went out to see where my grandfather was born.
Please tell us about a couple of stories when you were about my age.
I was what?
Please tell us a couple of stories about when you were my age.
Oh, a couple of stories when you were your age. I was, Joey, right when you were 7. I was going to school then. And when I was going to school, and after I come home from school, my father had a big pile of wood. You had to put wood in the wood house for the winter. And then you had to carry wood in the house. We had about 100 hens. You had to go feed the hens every evening. We had 2 cows. We had to go milk the cows and get them, bring them in, get the milk, and do all that when I was a kid.
That's quite a bit.
It was at that time, I'll tell you.
What were a couple of special events in your life?
I can't hear you, Michael.
What were a couple of special events in your life?
Oh, a couple of festival events. One bad event, my little brother Elmer he was 2 years older than me, and he died when he was 7 years old. And he took very sick, and he died in the big house down there when he was 7 years old. That wasn't very good. It was a bad event.
How did he die at such a young age?
Well, he was, they told what he had Bright's disease in those days. Today, with the doctors and the medical stuff they got today, would just be a trip to the hospital and you'd be all picked up. But in those days, they didn't know what to do for him. He was a husky young little boy, bigger than you.
Have there been any changes with the way people are growing the laws and the way things are in the city?
Oh yes, there's been thousands of changes. Everything changes every year. All in the city, in the country, and people, and everybody. Always changes. Yeah, lots of big changes.
Okay then. When you were little, were there any cars around?
Cars around? Yeah, no, not when I was little. There wasn't cars. We didn't have cars. There might have been somebody, because the cars come out in 1913, and the first car we got, I was 20. It was 1925. The first car I seen we ever had around. I was 10 years old.
Did they have very old-fashioned designs?
Oh yes, they had old-fashioned design.
And there weren't any seatbelts either, were there?
No seat belts, and there was no side. We had side curtains you had to put on. They were all open, just the windshield, and the rest of them was open. They had put side curtains on to keep the wind out and the rain out of you. They were all open cars then.
Oh, okay. Where did you live as a child?
I lived in Lawrenceville in the old homestead down here my father built. My father built that homestead the year I was born. So it's 88 years old now.
Did you work at a lumber mill?
Yeah, my father had a little lumber mill of his own. He sawed his own lumber and built his own boats. And when I was your age, I used to be behind the saw taking the lumber away from the saw. And then they just sit in a big wood pile. We had to saw wood and split wood for the stove. The fires, we had no electric heat or nothing then time, only wood. Only thing you had to burn. Yeah.
What did you do for fun?
What we do for fun? Well, you did very little because your parents, there was so much work to do, you didn't get much time. But in the winter time, we used to go sled riding down the hill, to go over to the big hill. We'd have big sleds, and we'd sled ride on the snow and ice. We'd go skating down on the marsh. We had a rink down there. You could go skating on it. In the summertime, we used to have a little ball field. We played ball. That was just about the height of our fun we had when we were that age. There wasn't the things to do what you got to do, you see. There wasn't that thing taking place.
What games did you like to play?
Well, I like to play ball. I used to play baseball on it. Even when I was up to 35 years old, I played baseball. I liked baseball. I used to play a good game of baseball. That was in the other games I used to play, I wouldn't dare tell you.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school in this old schoolhouse up here, right up there at the head of the hill. This old schoolhouse is still there. That's the first school I went to and the only one I went to.
Did you ever see the school out on Partridge Island?
Ever see what?
The school out on Partridge Island, or was it
Oh, I
down by
seen
the
it,
time
yes.
you were born?
I run the army boat. When the army was on Partridge Island, the first 6 months of the war, I was captain of the army boat. I hauled all the soldiers back and forth to Partridge Island, the first of the war. The army put on their own boats and.
Who were your friends?
Hmm?
Who were your friends?
Who were my friends?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had any of the truth. And we were all the same age. We did the same things. We went to school together and we played together and we swam together. All the kids that went to school all the same age at that time.
What did you work at?
Well, when I was 13 years old, the first job I had, I was when I went fishing with my father when I was 10 years old in the boat. And when I was 13 years old, we used to cut ice up at Spruce Lake. They had the ice road over in the wintertime. They had a great big ice house. And we filled that full of ice where they had the ice for the summer to put on things. And that's the first job I went to work away from home. 13 years old, and I went up there and went to work. Yeah. That was the first job, and then that was done that winter. And then the next spring I went to work on the railroad up here with the old shoreline run. I used to walk from here in the morning up there to go to work all day and work all day and then walk home in the evening. For $2 a day. That's what we got for it. Yeah.
How much did you usually have to pay for stamps when you were little?
What we had to what?
Pay for postage price on stamps.
I can't hear what you're saying there.
How much money did it cost to mail a letter when you were little?
Oh, it cost us 2 cents, I think was the biggest I remember. Cent was cent, and then it went to 2. When I was young, it was 1 cent to mail a letter, and then years next year went to 2. And I guess it's up to 40 or 50 now.
What was it like in St. John when you were young?
Huh?
What was it like in St. John when you were young?
Oh, St. John was altogether different. It was just there was a big mill pond right up in the middle of the west side. The tide used to come up and come in there, and you could go up in there in a boat and steam all around. It's all filled in now. It's all rebuilt. The whole west side of the city's all rebuilt since I was a kid. All rebuilt.
How has St. John changed?
Hmm?
How has St. John changed?
Has it changed? Oh, it's been changed. The right 100% turnaround, different than what it was. St. John one time used to be a port for ships. I seen, when I worked at the port, there was 30 and 40 ships in the harbor waiting for cargoes to check out. Now there's no ships. There's nothing now. They've lost all that is I'd say did 100% change. Changed completely around. Not for the better either.
Was the airport out in St. John?
Hmm?
Was the airport out in East St. John?
No, the first old airport was out at Milledgeville, out where Milledgeville is, out in the north end. There was an airport out there. That's the only airport we had around here when I was born. And I was 17 years old. I went up on a plane flying one day. First time I ever went up. I was 17 years old.
What was one of the most exciting days of your life?
Oh, that would be hard to say. What is the most exciting? I can tell you the most scary ones, though.
Which ones were they?
Well, when we were in the Navy, when we got up in going through the Irish Sea, and we got two ships firing shells at us, bullets flying over the top of us and hitting the water alongside of us. We didn't get hit, and any didn't hit the ship, but we were lucky. But it was scary. And then the planes flew over at night in Belfast and bombed the dock when we were in the dry dock and couldn't get out. So the tide come up, and that was no fun. No, I'll tell you, that was wartime, 1944, 43, 44.
What was it like being in World War II?
What was it like? Well, it wasn't pleasant, I'll tell you that.
It wasn't
We-
what?
Huh?
It wasn't what?
Yes, but the thing was that you didn't know any different. Everything was the same. Everywhere you went, there was a war going on. Only in Canada, there was no war out here, but there was across the ocean. And I was on the ship, and we went from Newfoundland over to convoy duty. Took the ships all back and forth across the ocean. Used to take anyways from 25 to 30 days going across the ocean, and 25, 30 days to get back.
Did you ever have to hide in pipes or anything to hide from the enemy in the war?
Oh yes, when we went on the ships, you get the word of the enemy being in a certain area, you had to change course and go away in a different direction. Altogether, we had to hide from them. Your main job was when you're on convoy duty is to get that convoy there. Even if you had to lose yourself, you were to get the convoy there. That was your job, to do, to escort that convoy across the ocean and get it over there. If it didn't make any difference if it was dangerous or not, you had to stay there and get it there. That was your job.
Did you? Well, I know you probably can't remember this, but World War I might have started when you were very, very young.
Yeah.
Which World War do you think was the worst, even though you probably can't remember the first one?
Oh, I can't remember, but we had about the same amount of people that joined the First World War. Same amount got killed in the First World War as got killed in the Second, the people that joined from Lornville here. But the Second World War lasted longer, and it involved more people and more countries than the First World War. But either one of them was very good. We didn't need them, we didn't want them.
Did you ever have to go and sail anywhere in the Pacific Ocean?
No, not that we know of. But when you were in the ship and you faced the enemy and you were firing your gun, you didn't know what you were hitting. They give you orders to fire in a certain direction. You fired. You didn't know whether you killed anybody or blew anything up or not. You couldn't see. You were looking at the stuff in front of you on the gun. That was up to the officer of the watch to tell you what you were hitting.
What was the most important day of your life?
Well, that would be hard to say what was the most important day, and I can tell you the scary one. But I think every day is an important day of your life. Every day you live is an important day. That's the day you got to learn new things. That's the day you got to do new things. And it's the day you're going to have more trouble, and it's the day that things happen that never happened before. So you put them all together and you find out which is the most important.
Did your grandfather help you fight in the war?
Who?
Your father?
No, my father never, he was too old for wartime, and he was, no, my father never was in the war, either wars.
Thank you. Oh, there's just one more question I'd like to ask. When you were fighting in the World War, did you see Adolf Hitler anywhere?
No, we never seen Adolf Hitler. We never got over it. We were on the ocean convoys. We were always on the water. We never got ashore on the land. But if we had seen him, we'd have put an end to him. I'll tell you that. If we had to run into him, but we didn't.
I heard he shot himself after the war.
That's what they say. Regardless of what he did, he was gone. That was good. Yeah. Adolf Hitler.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.